In today's world, there are 69 million children and 774 million adults who are uneducated. I'll let that sink in for a moment. 69 million children and 774 million adults. These are people that haven't even had the opportunity to receive a primary level education. These people are the poorest people in the world, and the vast majority of these people come from the world's developing countries. In order to help develop these countries, these people need educating. Education is absolutely necessary to fighting poverty in today's world. No country has ever managed to achieve continuous and rapid economic growth without first having at least 40% of its adults able to read and write. In many developing countries around the world, this figure simply has not been met. By educating the people of these countries, we can not only improve the lives of the individuals, but also improve the state of the world's developing countries as well. My organization aims to do exactly that: educate. In many developing countries around the world, there are kids like this one on the screen behind me, who do not have the opportunity to be educated. This can stem from a multitude of reasons. One such reason may be because their community does not have the means to pay for a school, or perhaps they can't even afford to pay for teachers to teach their students. This can also occur because of parental desire that their kids work to provide for their families, because they think that their time in school will not benefit them nearly as much as working a laborious job will. This is especially the case in agricultural communities where extra help with harvest takes precedence over just about anything, let alone school. What happens, however, is that these kids never have the opportunity to become educated. Once this happens, the kids are forced into a life of working laborious, low-income jobs. Not only will these kids be forced into a life of less desirable jobs, but they're also much less likely to be educated about such topics as disease. Once grown, these kids place far less emphasis on school to their children, and oftentimes the cycle of poverty is repeated. Education is a key way to provide the people of these developing countries for growth, with opportunities for growth and development. So now that you have an understanding of the problem, let's take a look at how our organization will address these issues. First and foremost, our organization will provide teachers who are native to these areas, who will move from community to community, teaching kids along the way. We'll have the absolute best teachers working in our organization. In order to find teachers who come from these areas, our organization will actually go into the communities and identify those students who are excelling in the classroom. We will provide these students with scholarships so that they can continue their education. Once finished with their schooling, these students will receive specialized training from our organization so as to ensure that they're the best and most highly trained teachers they can be. Now, we will recruit our teachers through scholarships, but we'll be able to retain them with a good salary that we can promise will be paid regularly. Many times, a regular rate of pay is lacking for most teachers in developing countries, which contributes to the problem of having insufficient teachers, both in terms of competency and number. What is interesting about our organization is the fact that these teachers will rotate from community to community. Let me explain how this will work. After receiving his training, Teacher A, let's call him Koby Deitz, will begin teaching in a community from where he's from that needs teachers. After teaching there for a period of time and establishing his curriculum, Koby will then move on to another community teaching there. This process will continue until Koby one day returns back to the original community he taught at, where he will continue his education and the cycle will restart. While teachers such as Koby are not in the communities they've taught in, older students will be left in charge to oversee the classroom activities and make sure that what has been asked of the teacher is being followed. In this way, these older students will serve in a role similar to that of a teacher's assistant here in the United States. By providing teachers for these communities, we will increase the education of those within the communities themselves. By doing this, the children of these communities will have the opportunity to one day become successful and provide for their families, and ultimately, one day, escape the cycle of poverty. In order to become educated, kids need teachers. Not just any teachers, but competent teachers. Teachers that know what they're doing, who want to be there, and who have a passion for what they're doing. The goal of our organization is to provide just that. Not only will education bring greater happiness to these kids, but it has been proven to increase the opportunity for economic growth. A single year of primary school has been found to increase the wages people earn later in life by as much as 5 to 15% for boys, and even greater amounts for girls. For each additional year of secondary school, an individual's wages increase by 15 to 25%. This is not insignificant. Education provides a means for escaping poverty. The importance placed upon education must be increased. The way I see it is like this. Education is a human right. The amazing thing about human rights is that they are inherent. Every single person in this world, no matter who you are, what you do, where you live, deserves the right to an education. With the help of our organization, we can hopefully one day make this dream a reality and empower all the children of the world. Thank you.